And we're back. Yay, technical difficulties. But yeah, there's no reason to buy something if, you don't like what the company itself is doing. And I believe because of all this, Konami probably thinks, they're going to still make all of the money off of Metal Gear Solid 5. There is so much hatred now towards Konami.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to even make their money back on Metal Gear Solid 5.
Probably not.
Which ends up leading to the question, will this be their swan song from the game's development area?
Well, what's interesting too is that I believe they took off their stock from the New York Stock Exchange, which is interesting. I'm curious as to why they would do that if they felt that they had strong product coming out. So I don't know. Do you guys think that has something to do with all this?
Nah. I read an article. I can't quite source it, but there's other reasons to take your stock off of the stock exchange. So there's probably other reasons that it happened that we're just not. I don't think it, because one game wouldn't be enough for a company, and especially a business like Konami. Hi, how are you?
Konima.
Konima! Let's start a company called Konima and then get sued.
Konima!
We'll focus on video games, but we might dip our toe into slot machines.
But from the
cards.
Yes.
From the if you look at the company portfolio for the people who are actually investing their money into Konami right now, that's the biggest thing that they're shouting about is, hey, we make a lot of money off of slot machines, keep investing in us. So, and
to that point, Kite, no, one video game may not break Konami as a company, but if they're that focused somewhere other than video games, one bad game like this, if there's bad enough reception, it may convince them to just stick to slot machines, get out of the video game business.
Well, I mean, really, what else is Konami doing that's not Silent Hill or Metal Gear? Like, what other IPs or games have they made that's really going,
Madam, Bayou Billy. All right, let's calm the fuck down. Bayou Billy.
And it wouldn't be terribly surprising if they choose now to divulge their, portfolio and just start making slot machine games, and other people, if they want to, can make video games with their old IPs that they don't care about anymore, clearly.
Because butts.
I may be talking out of my ass. It's entirely something that happens routinely with me.
That's true.
And I just dodged the wrong way. I'm very good at this game, by the way.
So smooth, so sweet, so clean, so magical. You're gonna die so hard.
It's a good thing I have this tasty meat to back me up, just in case.
You mean all of you? All that Manticore bait? That is you?
You should consume some tasty meat.
I'm about to have to.
Yeah, that ain't helping.
Oh, that nigga is gonna kick your butt there.
Yeah, there you go.
Super good, best.
That woman's face was my face just now.
Well, let's try that again. Maybe with more magic this time. How about?
More imagination.
Really? That's what we're going for now? Alright.
Maybe.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth and imaginate. No, but, and I... if let's say that this completely silly alternate universe happens where Konami stops making video games after this. Number one, I don't care. I don't care. I no longer care. After Silent Hills, I don't care. And it's not just like, oh man, fuck those guys. They promised and they didn't deliver. Which feels weird in this day and age for a company the size and strength of Konami to mess up, you know what I mean? Like to not pull this out. In the age of like of Kickstarter and all that, to let a huge project like this fall through.
How is it a huge project? Because they never actually got started on it to begin with. It was a idea.
It was a huge project, and not get started. They were in pre-production on it. That's not in my experience, pre-production is not getting started. IMDb has kind of made people believe that with like their listings for films being stuck in production hell and stuff like that. But that hardly means their work has been done.
But it is that way for video games. Like, look at Star Fox, for instance. Star Fox 2 for the Super Nintendo was pretty much done by the time that they were ready to release it. It was there. It was ready for all the things. And then they didn't release it because the next console was coming out. And it didn't make any business sense to release that game at that point, in a game that was almost done. So instead, they released Star Fox 64, which took more development, but was going to actually make more money.
Mm-hmm. And I understand that, but this is something that was announced, had talent attached to, had a sample game thing teaser made, and a trailer. Like, that's work. That's in production.
Well, and this is the second game that Del Toro has started work on that has been canceled.
And who knows if there's any fault there to be put on, Del Toro? I don't think there is.
No, I don't think there is.
Maybe he's just had a run of bad luck with this shit. But questions of production aside, if we never get another Silent Hill game and I still have 1, 2, and 3, I don't know if I mind. Because those are rad games. Like, nothing's going to diminish the radness of them.
I'm sorry.
You're not talking about The Room?
Or Shattered Memories?
The Room? Oh, man. Tommy Wiseau should never have been trusted with video games. Wait now. You're tearing me apart, Pyramid Head! Sorry.
Literally.
Oh hi, scary nurse. Alright, I'm done. I promise I'm done. I'm done with that The Room matchup.
Don't lie!
And yeah, we were, Kite and I were having this discussion the other day about, like, people think that, like, something can retroactively ruin something, and neither of us really understand that mindset. Like, it's not, like, nothing Konami does or does not do from this point on is, like, going to make Silent Hills 2 or 3 suck for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always going to think that the Game Boy Castlevania games are literally the tits. Just the best thing ever. That's never going to change.
You know that's not true. No, but I don't know. It is definitely a personal thing on my part. I'm not trying to justify it in some grand sweeping justice-y kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they told me they were going to make something. They didn't deliver, and the fact that they didn't deliver looks like it's entirely their fault. This was not the world screwing Konami over. Nobody died. They wanted something beyond what the creator wanted to do, who had already signed on to do something, and nobody moved from what it looks like, and, you know, the chips fell where they made. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pissed off at Konami, and I don't see myself buying any of their products in the future.
Yeah, all of that being said, you know, there's a lot of rage going out towards Konami right now through the internet, and it's hilarious to watch. But at the same time, I don't entirely get it. No, I won't buy another game of theirs, but...
Well, a lot of
you
it
won't buy Metal Gear Solid?
like, I want to buy the last Kojima game with Konami. That's just because I want to see his thought.
I see what you're saying. But after that, you're done with Konami as well?
Probably. Like, I don't know if they have an IP they can fix now.
They're apparently going forward with a new Silent Hill game.
Yeah, they're going to make another Silent Hill, they're going to make another Metal Gear Solid, and without any of the original brains behind it being involved, maybe
Well,
they could do something nice? Yeah. Ugh.
You know what this reminds me of? I watched Mad Max Fury Road this weekend.
Mad Max.
Actually, YouTube. We'll talk about it off recording. But I was actually near YouTube. We'll talk about that later. But I saw Mad Max Fury Road. George Miller, who directed the first three, is 70, and he put together Fury Road. There's a huge amount of its practical effects, and it kicked so much ass. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it was great. It was phenomenal. I can't wait to see it again. That being said, had anyone other than George Miller, the person who came up with the idea for this thing, been behind the wheel? I don't know. I don't think it could have been. I think it may have been passable. I think it may have been a great flick, maybe. I think other people could have gotten it maybe right, but not as right. Like, it took the person with the original idea to come back after 30 years and be like, man, have I got some cool shit for y'all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, Kojima, I don't know. I mean, Kojima...
Thank God.
feeling
You're having
there?
some issues with large beasts.
Yeah, I want to kill this kablo blah blah, and it's proving very hard.
Now, Kojima... Now, that being said about original...
that was entirely worth it.
Kojima wasn't around for the beginning of Silent Hill.
No, not at all.
No.
I think it was Toyama.
I want to say yes.
And then, oh boy. Oh god, I can never remember. I'm about to pull a kite.
I am the worst with names. Like, and it's not like foreign names, it's just names in general. Don't ask me to remember.
He did 2, and he came back for 4, kind of. Like, he wasn't all the way in charge of 4. Got like Tsuboyama, and then there was the fellow who joined Kojima actually after 3, Nakazawa. So, like, at best, Kojima was just sort of tangentially involved with with Silent Hill / Team Silent over the years. That being said, there's definitely merit and metal to, like, here's Hideo Kojima, here's Guillermo del Toro. We are giving them this franchise. It's always been a little, Silent Hill's always kind of been a little nebulous. It's always had a little wiggle room for you to kind of put your own flair on.
Yeah.
Sometimes that goes well, a lot of times it really, really doesn't.
But you take that creative risk because that's what the series is sort of about. It's either, established hit or it's a miss. But even with the miss, you kind of get at least a decent-ish experience out of it. They took a risk to not be stale, but to not do the same sort of formula again and again. Especially when you consider the first Silent Hill to the second or to the third. It's just the improvements in gameplay and the characterization and stuff is really awesome.
Yeah, agreed. I poke fun at, like, Shattered Memories and Downpour. I think deservedly so on some of their shortcomings. but I've yet to touch a single Silent Hill game in the series that didn't. I don't know if I can. That didn't fucking try.
Mm.
You guys, I mean, you may feel stronger about saying something like that than I did. I mean, Homecoming wasn't the best.
Yeah. See, I didn't play Homecoming, so I can't have a fair opinion on it.
Well, have you watched Homecoming? Have you watched a Let's Play of it?
No, not yet. Didn't Voidbugger do a Let's Play of it?
Yeah.
I want to say so.
I'll have to watch one of her LPs then. I'm just not familiar with it.
And that's kind of the thing about Homecoming was, to my recollection, it got C's and B's. For a lot of feedback. The problem is, being a C or B game in the Silent Hill franchise hurts.
Yeah, that's not gonna cut it.
But
Yeah, it certainly wasn't the worst game ever made or anything like that. It just wasn't Silent Hill.
oh no,
It's-
you want not Silent Hill. You got to go to Silent Hill, the arcade game.
Oh Jesus.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, House of the Dead style, motherfuckers.
Because that screams Silent Hill.
Well, I mean, dude, they put it in a cabinet. What you fucking expect? It's like waggle the stick to feel bad. Like waggle.
I do that often enough on my own. I don't really need a video game to help me out with it.
Coming in with
Ooh.
a masturbation joke.
It's what I do best.
But you can go through and look at almost every Silent Hill in the series after I think 3, and it's 70s, 80s, a few lower, a few higher, but when you get into the nitty gritty with some of the real the early veterans of the franchise, like Yahtzee. Yahtzee's a good kind of example. And Yahtzee's whole thing with a lot of them, I think Homecoming was one of the bigger ones he talked about. I may be getting it wrong on which one he talked about. He's like, the problem is, they started taking Western fears and Western tropes and idioms and, porting and punching them into Silent Hill.
And that doesn't work well ever.
And it especially doesn't work with Silent Hill, where, part of the unnerve is, yes, you're experiencing this sort of detached fear, but since it's a fear that you're kind of culturally absorbing and learning while you're playing, it adds kind of a whole new level of experience on the game. And maybe there just wasn't enough left down that road after 1, 2, and 3. Maybe if they had tried doing more of that, it would have gotten just as quickly played out as a lot of the games got. I'm looking at you, The Room. But what was that game? Which one was it where you played the trucker?
Don't
Trucker?
recall.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, offhand, I couldn't tell you.
That's how memorable that game was.
There was one of them. One of the later ones, I can't recall for the life of me, but one of the later ones, you just played as a trucker who happened to get into Silent Hill, and you just carry around, I think, a golf bag full of weapons and just beat your way out.
See, that's not Silent Hill, man. That's.
I don't know. It was kind of fun because it was just it's like Silent Hill was like, give me all of your fears and all your deep down insecurities and guilt. And the trucker was like, oh man, scary monsters. I hate scary monsters. The way I feel better about him is hitting them with a golf club. It's kind of nice to see, because Silent Hill is such a psychological reflection of the characters that they portray in the narrative. It's sort of nice to see, Silent Hill is it's like a Seussian, Rube Goldberg machine where you get out exactly what you put in. You put in a complex character, get a very odd, kind of multifractaled Silent Hill experience. Put in just some schmuck, It's just like, boo, scary monsters. Like, oh no, scary monsters. I better beat them to death.
Yeah.
Fuck these scary monsters.
Silent Hill Rising.
It's
What would our Silent Hill be anyway? Like having to actually take responsibility?
there wouldn't be our Silent Hill. Let me start with. It would be moistly hot.
Yep.
Like that sticky kind of summer hot. That awful, like, you live by water, but it's like marshy water. So it's always like the wind, even if you get a nice breeze, it's blowing in the sticky. Like, none of the chairs would be very comfortable to sit around in. Like, you can sit down, but there's never any good back support. And, like, they're just a little too short in the chairs, so, like, you're always kind of bunched up around the knees. Like, God help you if you try to settle in for some JRPG time, because you're just never going to be able to get, like, you're going to stand up with, like, a back problem. It would probably be bright, like, too bright to nap.
Oh my god. Sadism.
Like, our Silent Hill sucks and sounds sort of like summer camp.
Silent Hill is basically just summer camp, let's just be honest.
Yeah, I think our Silent Hill's just summer camp, dude.
Doesn't surprise me actually. It sounds about right for me. You mean I have to be outside all of the time in a hot, sweaty place where I don't like anybody? Okay.
I can't plug anything into the wall and just stare at it. Like,
They're outlets, but they don't work. They're all European plugs.
Oh, Josh.
There's
You
some
need to
TVs
find
that
an
are plugged
adapter!
in.
Wash your mouths out. Ugh.
This adapter represents the conversations you didn't have with your mother. Yeah, whatever. Just give me the adapter. Like, all the TVs would only get like UVC and the Christian public broadcast.
Oh.
And,
All
like,
right.
and like the old style preview channel, so you could see what you couldn't watch.
Next, your mom's gonna take away all your drawings and your clothing and just lock you in a room.
It's gonna be no good. It's like, oh man, but I drew that picture of that robot penis for you, Mom. Like it's got.
I was
It's got
thinking.
one of them. It's got one of them cool Cylon eyes.
I'm unsure how I feel about that statement.
I drew the robot penis for you, Mom. If that doesn't end up on the soundboard, I don't know what does.
I'm uncomfortable with that on very strange levels. Just want you to know.
Comfortable with what?
I drew this penis for you, Mom. I mean, that has all sorts of Freudian
Now
context.
you said
Second
it.
soundbite.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I drew the robot penis for you, Mom. I drew the robot penis for you, Mom. I drew the robot penis for you, Mom.